Hazel, good to see you again.
Good to see you.
So next up, the WarmCube Novus Hoodie. Now, WarmCube, I remember you guys busting out at a trade show back in the days when we had trade shows a few years ago. And I think it was included within our top 10 at the show, simply because when we saw it, every single member of staff just saw it and said, what the hell is that? That looks cool. And I'm pretty sure that each member of staff tried on that jacket just because they were like, this, which doesn't happen with many or possibly any other products at the show, which is quite a statement of the interest and intrigue. Now, tell us, that initial release of WarmCube was very much focused at the real top end of like absolute, we're talking like, Himalayan or 6,000 meter peak end of the spectrum. So within this that I'll put on whilst you're kindly telling me about it, this is the trickle down effect that's probably more relevant to you or I.
Yeah. So WarmCube was brought together, designed, well, the inspiration came from an ice cube tray. So the idea is that you get those channels and they hold the warm air instantly because your heat doesn't need to get into anything. It doesn't need to work through any fabrics. So the idea behind WarmCube is that it warms up really quickly, but also holds it really efficiently. So that jacket you're talking about is the West Rib Parker, aimed at high altitude mountaineering, 8,000 meter peaks. It's a mix of down cubes on the inside and synthetic sheet on the outside. And that was always the starting point, and it was always our intention to then bring that down into the range that was more appropriate for our everyday user. So the first part of that was the last show that we saw you at. I think we talked about the WarmCube Featherless hoodie. So that was a fully synthetic version, pared down a bit. So again, sheet insulation on the outside, cubes on the inside, all the same principles, but with fully synthetic insulation. So the next step of this is what you're wearing.
Which is within the, inside of my own centrally heated house already getting quite warm. In fact, I think it's just an accident, but the glow of the lighting within my room, I'm already coming across as pretty amber. But
you do seem to have a bit of a glow about you, right?
I don't know what that is. It's something's happened within the lighting of this room. It's either that or it is the jacket, and that is just what happens.
It's just indicating that you're getting quite hot.
Yeah.
You've got a thermal sensor on your camera. Maybe that's what's going on. So yeah, the WarmCube Novus that you're wearing, again, it's fully synthetic and it's a sheet insulation. And as much as it's WarmCube, it doesn't have the same type of cube as we've used previously. And we only have WarmCube in the back panel. So the idea of the jacket that you're wearing, so it's a 40-gram insulation. It has a 20 denier stretch face and lining fabric. So this is a jacket for being active in. This is a jacket for going cragging, walking in on a chill day, and you should be able to wear it whilst active as well as being static. So the idea of the cubes here is they're formed slightly differently. So if I grab one of these ones, you can see there isn't the same depth in the cubes, and it's welded construction instead of a stitch construction. So where the welds are, that makes the jacket more breathable. So your heat can actually get out. So when you're getting too hot, your heat will push that extra heat and moisture through the jacket so you don't overheat. It's a great idea.
Very much, again, at the active insulation, end of spectrum, where rather than, being static, you can actually, move, walk, climb without without expiring, basically, from heat exhaustion. Says the guy who's standing still.
If you were to be very active in the WarmCube Featherless hoodie, that's aimed at static. That is aimed at, I'm on a belay ledge, I'm in camp, I'm static, but I need to be warm. This is definitely, I'm going somewhere, I'm doing something. And yes, it will spend some time in your pack, but it'll also spend a lot of time on your back.
I mean, having just put it on, again, it's not always the best test when you're putting something on within the confines of, as I say, your own house, but it's got a really nice cut, a really nice fit, and again, like as you say, with the sort of stretch and with the cut as it is, limited lift, all the things you'd hope for from a jacket that's described as being active.
Yeah. So something that's also really nice, which you may or may not have noticed yet, in the hem, the way we've done the draw cord.
Ooh.
So the toggles for drawing it in are attached, and you might go, well, where's the end? It's in your pocket. So when you draw that in and you've adjusted your jacket, and most of the adjustment comes around the back, so you don't get all that bunching around the front with your harness. You don't have a long dangly bit of elastic that you're going to clip in your carabiner. It's in your hand pocket, so it's totally out of the way. It's totally not going to impede on what you're doing. It's a really small thing.
I've got you. Yeah, there you are. I found it. Sorry,
Yeah.
you can just see what's going on in my mind through the medium of my eyebrows right now as I'm just there going like...
Yeah, so it's done in a really nice way. So the little tethers for the elastics, they're quite neat, quite flat. And then the way they go into the pocket, like you didn't even notice they were in there. So they're not any way of a hindrance. And that's the idea.
And the pockets, again, nice fleecy lining to them, just super light, but just that little bit of luxury as well as, nice.
How nice is it when you put your hands in? It's like, oh, snuggle.
I mean, with jackets like this, I think, again, throughout the winter months or throughout, again, that sort of cool ends of, the beginning of spring and the end of autumn, you could see it also being used, out and about climbing or walking. The thing about jackets like this, when you just like, it's a really easy jacket to put on throughout the colder months of the year. Just like those jackets that you just put on every time you leave the house. And recently it's obviously been really cold. You tend to reach for a warmer jacket, and this is that kind of thing. It's got a real instant warm feel about it.
Yeah, it's really nice. And they're having the stretch face fabric as well, because it's such a matte finish. There's no crinkle to it. There's no rustle. It's really just tactile and nice. It just feels great.
And the hood again is like an under helmet style hood as well, just really snug, so that it's not going to be like flapping around in the wind. It's not, it seems pretty low profile.
Yeah, so I've had this on under a helmet and it's great. So there's no sort of rear elastic toggles to annoy with your helmet. It's just an elastic around the front.
Well, another exciting product for again, all these things give me hope that we'll be able to go out and use them sometime soon beyond the confines of our own postcode. But thanks for taking us through that though, Hazel. That was absolutely fantastic, and I can't wait to catch up in real life sometime soon.
Yeah, that'd be nice. We'll have a beer at a stand party somewhere. Life will resume normal at some point, we all hope.
Yeah, we all hope. Right,
yeah,
thanks
really
a lot,
great
Hazel.
to see you.
Bye for now.
Bye.